ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, look, everybody. Robert Bannon here. It's the Roundtable. We're here on Broadway World, over here on the Broadway Podcast Network, iHeart, and Spotify. I'm really excited. You know, one of the things that I've learned a lot this year when I moved from New York City over to Detroit, Michigan, where I am right now, is that there's so much art happening around the world. And one of my favorite theaters around the world is Arena Stage. And Arena Stage has been known for putting on some incredible productions that have gone on to Broadway, some productions that have been revised and re-edited and lived new life have happened at Arena Stage. And the art in Washington, D.C. is so important right now because the world is on fire. The world is on fire, so go support a show anywhere you can. I'm so excited for our next guest to be here. He has an incredible show. He has an incredible cast. Bradley Gibson is one of my longest, oldest, closest New York friends. He is always snatched and ready to go. You should have seen him on the red carpet. I'm so jealous. We used to go to the gym together, and he kept going, and I did not. So I want you to go get a ticket, everybody, because Fremont Ave is coming, and Reggie D is the playwright and the senior director of artistic strategy and impact, which is one of the most fancy titles. And I was an investor on The Inheritance on Broadway by Matthew Lopez, which just so happened to have Reggie D in it. So why don't I know you, Reggie? I was at that opening night party. I look good too, Reggie. Here he is. Reggie is here, and he's making it with the Roundtable.
I was camped out at the cheese table with Timothy Chalamet, who was LaGuardia classmates with Sam Levine. So Timothy and I were eating all the cheese. So that's why I didn't see you at the party.
Well, I was too scared to go to the fan because you were at the cool kids table. So
listen, I was like, I've made my debut. I'm eating all the cheese. Yes, I am.
With Timothy Chalamet.
With Timothy Chalamet.
If you're going to eat cheese, who better to eat cheese with than Timothy Chalamet?
Yes. Better cheese than peach.
I was an investor with Adam Hyman, who happens to be married to Bradley Gibson. So that is why I was there. I was Adam's first producing credit. And then he went on to win a Tony Award, which I've never taken a selfie with at their apartment. I want to, Reggie. I want to. Your show won a Tony. I want to spin it. I want to flick it.
It's fun. At the party when Matthew was there, I have a wonderful slow-mo video of him on my phone of us all taking turns flicking it, and it's heavier than you think.
See, so that's what I would. Oh, I'm all right. Good thing to know. While we're talking to Reggie, you could go to reggieDwhite.com for more information about him particularly. And we're here talking about Fremont Ave, which is over at Arena Stage. So, Reggie, you're an actor, and we talked about Broadway, and we talked about the incredible acting credits that you've had. You've done shows at New York Theater Workshop and La Jolla, and American Rep Theater, and all these places. And then you've directed at Atlantic and the Public, and in St. Louis, and in Indiana, and all around the country. When did you become are you a writer, an actor, a director? What are you?
I love telling stories. I found my way to storytelling professionally as an actor. And because people would indulge my bossiness, people were like, I think you're a director. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. I like telling people what to do. And because of the start of my career in the San Francisco Bay Area, working on new plays by Lauren Gunderson and Lauren Yee and Marcus Gardley, I had a lot of friends say, like, I think you're a playwright. So I have sort of found my way to sort of giving theater and storytelling all it will take. So I feel very blessed and fortunate in this moment to sort of be doing it all. And I'm so grateful that the show is up and open, and I'm really excited that people have been loving it so far.
They sure have been loving it, and it's gotten incredible reviews, and everybody needs to go and get their tickets out down there in Washington, D.C., the incredible Arena Stage. So how does a show like this come to you? And then how do you get Arena Stage to say, okay, come on, let's do this?
Yeah. The show is a love letter to my family. I feel like what I have said a bunch is that I've never really seen a multi-generational exploration of the relationships that Black men have between themselves and with themselves presented on stage before. We see like father-son, but never like beyond two generations. And I feel like I had to write it because I hadn't seen it. And I actually like begged Hannah to not program it. I was like, please don't do it here. I have too much to do. My job, my plate is very, very full, as the, very fancy, so many words title. But it was part of the Pacific Playwrights Festival at South Coast, and they usually take like a month or so after the festival to decide whether or not they're going to program a play. And they had already decided. They're like, no, we're doing this play. And Hannah was like, yeah, us too. So I begged Arena to not do the play. But Hannah and Edgar and everyone at the institution was like, this play is incredible. We have to. And so it's been an interesting, balance being a playwright in one part of the building and being, the senior director of artistic strategy and impact in the other parts of the building. I'm happy to just return to my day job now that the play is open, because tech was exhausting. But it's been a joy, and Black DC has come out for the show in a way that I think is really exciting, and I can't wait for everybody else to see the play.
You got till November. Go to arenastage.org and get your tickets. So for you, you're not from DC.
I'm not. No, my folks are from New Orleans. I grew up in Southern California. I went to college in the San Francisco Bay Area. I talk sometimes about this, like the sliding doors moment of my life. My uncle had been like convincing me for years to go to Howard. So I almost was a Bison, and I feel like this play is an opportunity for me to sort of like put that version of my possible life into the universe. In the second act, it's about a group of friends who all went to undergrad at Howard together. And so, no, I'm very much a Californian by way of New Orleans. I say y'all all the time. I call people ma'am. Raisins do not belong in potato salad. I clap on the 2 and the 4. But it's so wonderful to see the sort of enduring resonance of a show that it's a very Californian play. Like the set it's deeply, deeply Californian, but people have found themselves in the story, and that's really, really gratifying.
Well, I'm excited for people to check it out. I'm excited for the life. Who knows what life it will have after it's done with Arena Stage.
We know it's going to South Coast in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we will see where Bradley and his snatched body go to next.
Pisses me off, but that's another story.
It's so terrible. It's not fair.
I realized, Reggie, when I was a school teacher in New Jersey and my personal trainer was training Bradley and the cast of Hamilton, that I could not afford this trainer. That's what I realized. But I felt so cool and so fit.
It's great. It's great. I'm like, yeah, Bradley's kind of playing me, and I'm like, I will never look like that. But until November 23rd, I do.
Yeah, Reggie, yes, you do, Reggie. Yes, you do. Reggie, for you, what was it like to write this? How many years has this been rolling through your head? You have by the way, you have worked with the Vineyard. You've gotten awards, the Coleman Domingo Awards. You've co-conceived shows that have played. You have put in the work to become a writer. And this is not like you just sat down and opened up notes on your cell phone and wrote a play. Like, you have studied this.
I wish. Yeah, I wish it was that easy. The original idea for the play, before I even really knew what it was, came in 2015 when I was working on this play called Clarity by Cord Arrington Tuttle at the Fire Next Time Festival, which eventually won the Sam French Off Broadway Festival, and that was all very, very exciting. And Cord was the first person to sort of really insist that I like try to write, and I'd been running from it for a very long time. And so I'd written a monologue that sort of became the sort of ghosts and shadows of the third act. And then in 2021, as we were sort of starting to regather after the first sort of wave of the pandemic, I was sitting in my grandparents' house with my grandfather and my uncle. And we had actually done some work with the commissary over the pandemic with this project, Lessons in Survival, where we were interviewing, or we were looking back at historical interviews. And then we as a collective got interested in interviewing members of our family who had lived through like big moments of American history. Because when you think about the incredible progress and upheaval that happened in the country from, the Second World War even to now, like those folks are alive with us. They are sitting across from us at the dinner table. They are living in our homes, and all this history is just like hidden under the silence of, this idea that we think we know our families. And I had always known that my uncle went to UC Santa Cruz. He was getting his undergrad degree at the same time that Huey Newton was there getting his doctorate, before he and Bobby Seale started the Panthers in real effect. And so I was sitting in my grandparents' house, me, my grandpa, my uncle, and I asked him one question. I was like, what was it like being at UC Santa Cruz with Bobby Seale? I mean, with Huey Newton, before he and Bobby Seale founded the Panthers. And we talked for 4 hours, and I mostly listened. And that memory sparked a memory of my uncle and his law school friends when they were all at Hastings Law College with Chris Darden from the OJ trial. And then it sparked a memory of my grandpa when he met my uncle for the first time, when he met my grandmother when she was married, and how my grandpa kind of was like, yeah, come on over here. And so I was like, all this history is so fascinating. I don't know what to do with it. And then I found myself on a cross-country flight from New York City to Honolulu with no Wi-Fi. And I was like, well, I have 11 and a half hours. I might as well start writing. So the first real draft of Fremont came together 4 years ago. And then very soon after, the Coleman Domingo Award followed, and they're like, you have to write a play. And I was like, well, lucky for y'all, I've already started an idea. And I shared it with Sarah and Coleman, and they were like, this is incredible. Yeah, no, you have to write this right now. And so the last 3 years have been like really involved with developing the play. But I owe everything that this play is to that first conversation with Cord 10 years ago, where he was like, there's something you have to say about the way that Black people live and the way that they love and their relationship with themselves. And I don't think anybody can say it the way that you can. So you have to write it. So I owe a debt of gratitude for all of the like persistent nagging of all of my friends over the last like 20 years. But yeah, the play is like, it's 10 years old.
Wow. You got to get your tickets, everybody. Get your tickets. Go to arenastage.org. I moved to Detroit a year ago. My husband is a Black man. And knowing his family and knowing the history, I think as someone who grew up in New Jersey as a white guy with no real friends, or no one that I knew as a child, that there's such a narrative, and the society puts such an emphasis on certain history, on certain families, and my immigrant story, my family came here, and how we started this, and this city and that city, and we don't get to see Black history and Black families and the lineage. And when I meet Darius, and Darius tells me about my grandmother owned a hair salon in the Detroit riots, and her father came here, and my uncle served in Vietnam, and the pride that they have, we don't see that in this country. People of color don't get the opportunity to share their story. And it's so important. It changes the narrative for everyone.
Yeah, I actually just had like a very emotional conversation with my grandfather a couple of days ago about this. I think about the incredible honor it is to sort of immortalize the ordinary lives of people who just happen to be extraordinary by doing their best. And I think that so much of the story of history is like the Jackie Robinsons and the Dr. Martin Luther Kings and the Serena Williamses and the Medgar Evers. But history is also George Plick. History is also Robert Norman Terrence. History is also Reggie D. White. And it's such an honor and a privilege to render their lives with the quiet dignity that they deserve. And I think the biggest surprise is, it is fiction. And I had to warn my family when they came to opening night. I was like, this is fiction. Some of these things did not happen. Do not come talking to me. I made it up. But to see other people who, whose families are not my family, see their own histories in the complexity, in the silence, in the laughter, in the shared jokes, in the traditions. There's a moment where Audrey, the grandmother, is coming through with a robe, and she turns on the gospel music, and everybody in the audience knows it's time to clean the house. Like those ways that we have pieced together our own culture in this country over the last 400 years, and to see everybody recognize their own families in it has been a profound honor that I do not take for granted. I'm very honored that the rendering of my family has been a window for other folks into their own families, their own histories, their own lineages. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity in this moment.
Well, I know that we're more alike than we all are different. So everybody get a ticket. It's not for, this show is not just for anybody, it's for everybody. Get a ticket and see some humanity. My mother-in-law taught me that you put Mahalia Jackson on, that was her go-to clean the house. Or Anita Baker. I guess if she felt secular and ready to drop it down and give it a twirl. I don't know, but that
it's yeah. When you hear Anita Baker, when you hear that bass line where she's like,
you're gonna start mopping the floor.
Get the broom. Get the broom.
I gotta say,
yeah.
I can't wait to see this show go around the world. I hope it goes everywhere and anywhere because we need to see it. I got to take my husband. He's going to see his family up there through your family and through your ideas. So how do you manage doing a show in New York recently and running the arena stage? And how many times you take a train or a plane back and forth to DC?
It's hard. So yeah, I was in Goddess at the Public this spring. I was going to say last year, but that feels like it was forever ago. It was only like 6 months ago. It was hard because we were in the middle of planning our gala, which I directed and produced. So how it would work is I'd be in New York Tuesday through Sunday. I would go back to DC on Monday and stay there till Tuesday morning. Then I'd go back to New York, and then I would be working from backstage or in the rehearsal room. I almost missed an entrance during a performance because I was on a Zoom meeting backstage, and like everybody knew, like I had my own little corner backstage, and I had my little laptop, and I would like walk off and do the scene and then come right back. And I was like, I'll be right back. I have to just go on stage. I'll be. So people saw me on Zooms in all kinds of clothes that I do not own. I had blonde hair. I had faux locks because when Didi Aite says you dye your hair blonde, you dye your hair blonde. So yeah, it was, I remember the first time I went to a board meeting with my blonde hair, and our board president was like, oh, Reggie, you look amazing, but I was like, yeah, I'm doing a play, y'all. I'm sorry. I usually have my hair short. I'm very like put together and like very just low maintenance, but like, you know, it was fun. It was exhausting. I think I'm still tired. But it was really exciting because it was an opportunity to sort of do all the things that I love at once. And I was also in development for Fremont. So I was having pre-production meetings with the director, Lili-Anne Brown, and we were talking about scenic design ideas and costumes and some rewrites with David Ivers at South Coast Rep. So I was kind of acting, being a writer in pre-production, and also working in my artistic capacity at Arena Stage all at the same time. And it is exhausting. But it's also really exhilarating because I feel like each of those things scratches a different part of my brain. And, you know, it's so weird to think that I've been doing this for 20 years because like, I'm not that old. Like
I know you're not, Reggie.
So young. But I feel just like really fortunate to have found my way into this being the fullness of my life that it is. And the only way that I can pay back that gratitude is with rigor. And, I just feel I'm really blessed. I'm really blessed. I'm tired as hell. But I'm really blessed.
Look,
which I know as a teacher, you must know and feel.
I'm very grateful that I get to do 365 interviews a year and teach my babies and and sing and try to make it all work. But I'm not traveling back and forth. I go home to New Jersey and New York a lot, but I'm not going back every weekend.
It's bad when the check-in people at the Delta Lounge are like, hey, you're back. I'm like, God damn. Okay.
Well, Reggie, I hope you have a crystal ball because you know what's going to happen. Fremont's going to go and run and be everywhere. Goddess is going to go to Broadway. And you all are going to, and the Arena Stage is going to have a new season of shows. And Reggie's going to be in 3 places at one time. So,
yes.
Look, Reggie.
I will win a Tony for writing and acting on the same night.
You know,
okay. It's never happened before. It's got to happen at some point.
It's going to happen. I'm putting it out in the air. It's in the air. It's in the air. I'm so excited, everybody. Look, as the country needs art, he's in DC where it's I don't know, burning the whole country's on fire.
Correct.
They're
Correct.
literally knocking this country down.
A construction zone. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So we have to support Arena Stage because Arena Stage is a place where they're putting on work that is going to document the history of the future. And we need to support theater, not just in New York City, but theater across the country. So no matter where you live, go to your local regional community theater, tour house, somewhere, go support art and artists and what's being done on stage, because it's just so important that you do that in DC, in New York City, or anywhere around this country.
I am only here because I saw a touring production of Oliver in the 3rd grade that stuck with me for the last 30 years. And so like, please go take your kids to see community theater, take your family. There is such incredible storytelling happening through this art form, and there's really nothing like it. And the only way that art survives if more people keep making it. So please go see theater wherever you live.
Reggie he's making it. So let's go. Thank you so much. My show's your show anytime. I'll see you in New York or DC or around the world.
Name the time. I'm there.
I'll bring Timothy Chalamet and some cheese.
And some cheese, some brie. He loves a good brie.
Who knew? Who knew? See? Thank you, Reggie. Go get him. We're here for you. I'm here for you.
I can't wait.
Thank you.